everybody? It is Tuesday night. I had to think about that. Tuesday night, the night before the Premier League is back, and I cannot think of anybody better to welcome in than the Parlor Boss. How is it going, my friend?
What's up, Keith? Good to be back, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of other people that would be well more qualified and more fun to have on, but I'll gladly take the place.
Many more qualified, but many others that would not drink on camera with me. So
yeah, fair enough.
Anytime that the Parlor Boss is on, we are going to start this show out the only way it is, which is a shot of whatever we're drinking. I'm gonna go Jameson. What are you going?
I'm going a little the dregs of my Woodford here, the bourbon.
Okay. And the only way
right?
And the only way to wash it down, beer of choice. I happen to just have most people don't know Yuengling in Tampa. Not open right now, but Yuengling in Tampa. So Yuengling.
Yeah, Yuengling's from Pottsville, PA. Our Philadelphia fans will appreciate that.
It is. And what are you
on the other side of the state from me? But,
what are you going down with?
I got the Woodford, and then I got an Alaskan or an Anchorage Brewing Company Wolfus.
Okay. And I've always wanted to say
wolf.
I've always wanted to say this and steal this from the Men in Blazers, but here's to your first third beer of the day.
Indeed. Cheers, brother. That was bigger than I thought it was.
Start. That is how to start, my friend. So,
let's go.
As we talked about, the Premier League is back, and a hell of a prize pool. Holy shit.
I mean, who cares about the second game? There's a huge first game. I think they haven't put the Showdown out yet because it's going to be like $100K to first for the Sheffield Villa game, right?
Deciding if they were just going to completely say screw the Bundesliga or if they were going to do a Showdown. And I guess the decision was, we're going to see if the Bundesliga has anything left because there's a classic slate at 12:30. So
yeah, but it's so
we're not going to talk about that. Unfortunately, all the money is in the late Showdown. We'll touch briefly on the classic slate at the end of this, but all of the kind of soccer eyes is going to be on the Showdown at 4 between City and Arsenal.
3:15, man. 3:15.
Okay, whatever. The third beer of the day must have got me.
I mean, lock time is pretty important tomorrow.
You work your schedule around this. You work your clientele around this. We know
that's right.
But anyhow, regardless of what time, that is going to be the game of the day. One of the biggest, I think it is the biggest prize pool we've ever had in DFS soccer. So let's get right to it. Like, if you guys do not know Parlor Boss, he is one of the best GPP players in soccer, whether he wants to admit it or not. And I will just tell you one of the reasons why he's so good and why I wanted to have him on is because just of his ability to kind of just break down roster construction and kind of think about the way different outcomes that could happen. And for players like me that really focus on floors or like more analytical, somebody like you really does a good job of going, I understand that KDB has an insane floor, but he's also going to be 90% owned. And here's some outcomes that could happen that make him not on the winning team. So we're going to talk about all that. Do you have anything to add there, my friend?
The only thing I'll say is I've had some success. I've been lucky. I've got a system. I've gotten pretty good at it. But I'm not on the level of the true goats. I'm not Sasson. I'm not Saramek. I'm not Redcoat. Those guys I think are probably the best, and I'm leaving guys out of there. But you see the guys at the top all the time, and there's a reason they're there.
Let's be real; they're not listening to this. This little
exactly.
This soccer video.
I don't know who those guys are. Maybe,
and if they are, hi guys.
we know DFS Hofbrau is listening, but other than that, I'm not sure how many true goats are in the.
And whether we're actually talking about you or not, thank you all for listening so much. It's been awesome over the last month of doing this. We've seen a ton of people joining into the FSI Discord. And unfortunately, it's that time where I'm going to do a marketing plug. Up on the site right now, $40 for the rest of the season to be in our Discord chat, which I'll just tell you, Bill, and you can admit this, it's been on fire the last week in terms of not just like the content. I think the content's pretty good, but just people, just tons of chatter, talking about who's on sets, who's out, how does this affect, and then just, if you don't have SoFa score, you don't have goal notifications, all you have to do is look at our Discord and you'll know who scored within a second.
It's been fun, man, and honestly, some old friends have come back to the fold, and some of the new guys have brought a lot, and I've been answering private DMs, and just we want to help people learn how to play, so absolutely. It's been a lot of fun.
So join up. That link will be in the bottom. It's on the cheat sheet. If you click subscribe now, you can go. Weekly is back up to $10 now. The EPL is back because I'm covering a shit ton of soccer for y'all. But $40 for the snip out, just under 2 months. And then if the UCL and UEL goes longer, I'm going to be covering that for you too. So join up. I promise you will make that money back. Last marketing plug, promise. Let's jump into the showdown. I'm not even going to be pulling up DK pricing because I would just tell you, Bill, I do not think that we're doing anybody service by talking about pricing. Because I think if you're going to be wanting to win this GPP, it's all going to be about scripting the game and playing those type of things. Agree, disagree?
Yeah, no, I agree completely. It's scripting, it's correlation, and it's ownership. I mean, those are the three. I think if we could just identify three factors. I mean, every showdown lineup you build is I think you want it to be geared to a specific outcome, and you want correlation to be a huge part of that, and you want to somehow on a slate like this, it's Man City roulette, right?
Let's actually pause on that. So I was thinking about this before we got on. I'm actually going to use a really good example today of the Barcelona showdown slate that I almost forgot about. And son of a gun, I think I won the main GPP if I would have been in there. I took down like a secondary 10, the secondary 1, the secondary 3. I was kind of pissed.
Yeah, I think you might have got nipped, but it was real close.
Good. I don't want to hear that.
You always feel better that way, right?
I mean, I already feel dirty enough by winning because of playing a goalie and Junior Firpo. But anyhow, like. A big thing, because I had some people asking when we put out cores, well, because I had can't even remember his name. Eraso was on sets for
3,000 guy.
But he's 3,200, so he was like an easy core lock. He finished at 1.7 points. Okay.
The other guy that was priced the same price was in the winning lineup, along with like the 3,200 guy. Yeah.
But you just made my point for me. So when we talk about like a dominant possession team. Okay, this is like a specific soccer DFS basis. When you're talking about a dominant team, like Barcelona is officially the tiki-taka or whatever the heck they call it, where they're just going to pass the ball around a ton. And they're going to overpossess the team. The other team is going to be pinned back. They have no choice but to play defense and just try to attack on a counter. They're never going to have the ball. That is what we have in Man City Arsenal. Even though Arsenal is a big team, they are not going to have the ball. So I just want you guys to understand when you look at this cheat sheet and you look at Pepe, Ozil, and Ceballos, that they might be on sets. Great. The corners don't matter at all. Like if you're going to be attacking, what's that? Oh, hey, I missed what you said. But anyhow, like the corners don't matter.
You edit that out.
Yeah, the corners don't matter because we're talking about 3 to 4 corners for Arsenal. Arsenal likes to even take them short sometimes. So just don't preoccupy yourself with who's on sets for Arsenal. It does not matter in this type of matchup because you are not going to be in a possession-based system. All of the actions on City side, if you're going to be playing Arsenal pieces, you might want to just play like a center back for a goal. Hell, if they give own goals, David Luiz would be a hell of a play. But,
solid bird.
But getting like I'm not discounting a PEA. I'm not even discounting a Pepe that can, with his speed, get off on the break. We saw Traore kill him earlier. But one of those, you're going for the goal. You're not going for the 4. Correct me if I'm wrong, my friend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, a slate this big and this, with this kind of prize pool, if like me, I'm gonna do 150 tomorrow because it's the biggest one. Not many people play like that aren't pros. I'm not a pro, obviously, but I hand build, and I'm gonna do a bunch tonight and adjust, and then maybe do half once lineups come out. I usually do them all once lineups come out. But I'd say I was thinking about percentages of because it is possible that Arsenal could win this game 1-0. Like
100%.
That's not likely, but if it is, I want to have that covered. You know what I mean?
Let me freeze you there. Will they win 1-0 and have 12 corners?
No. Yeah, and to get back to what you're saying, it's going to be the goal, and somehow Leno's going to stand on his head and have 10 saves, and you clean sheet points,
so
and
let's talk about that correlation right away. Let's talk about the most contrarian correlation first, and then we'll get to kind of like for somebody like you with this win 150, how 120 of your lineups will go. So
right.
let's talk about the Arsenal 1-0. When you hear Arsenal that wins 1-0 though, like what's the build? Like how are you formulating the build?
Yeah, I mean it's well, you want the goal scorer, I think. There you go, man.
Hold on.
I'm right back with you.
Hold on. This is called the I need to drink build because for 69 minutes of the game, I don't know why I said 69, maybe.
Nice.
But anyhow, 70 minutes of the game, you're going, why the F did I build this way?
Yeah.
Just drink.
Well, if it's 0-0 at 70 minutes, I'm a happy man because, there's a lot of ways you can win at that point, right?
I don't know why I almost drank the beer. Anyhow, let's talk about 1-0 Arsenal, though. Talk to me about what the build looks like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you want the goal scorer probably as the captain. It's probably Aubameyang, but it could be anyone. I mean, who knows who's starting tomorrow? Is Martinelli is he fit? These are the things that I probably should know right now, but I don't.
Well, I mean, I'll pull up. I use Sports Gambler as the one that comes out the fastest with the lineup. Here's what they have, which I feel is pretty
okay.
I don't like the City side. I already got called out on Twitter for it, and so
I saw that.
I have a different one down there. Anyhow, I think the Arsenal lineup is pretty standard.
Yeah.
I think you very well could see Ozil being dropped for like a Torreira.
No, Torreira's not fit.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
That's the one thing I learned in my.
So is Guendouzi?
Torreira and Callum and Chambers are like the two guys who are.
But Guendouzi is fit, right?
Yeah, it could be Gwen. It could be Gwen.
So Ozil is what I call a luxury player. Like he ain't tracking back. So they might want to overload the midfield and bring like a Guendouzi in that can do a little more destroying.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what Arteta's been scheming these last weeks?
He's been on the COVID, so we got to be careful with his head.
Hey man, he's healthy, but yeah, it's it could be Laka, it could be Ava. I mean, this is not going to happen. We're probably talking too much time on it, but in that scenario, you would like to get the Arsenal goal and assist in your lineup. And you're probably going to play KDB because he's the highest floor of anyone on the slate. And, the rest of those, are you going to fuck with the Arsenal fullbacks who aren't going to do much? My boys, Bukayo Saka. I'm probably going to own him more than I should tomorrow if he's in.
I'll look for those lineups under the bubble.
Yeah, exactly. But that lineup, it's more like a 3-3. Maybe it's Mahrez has a floor. We know that, right?
Yeah. Can I fight you a little bit on this? So
let's fight.
When I think of 1-0, I think of especially in this type of game, I think of the one that you actually took down the Liverpool Atleti Classic slate because you just have the onslaught. I think when I hear 1-0, and you won more GPPs than me, so I'm not going to fight you, but I start thinking, could that actually be like a Leno captain? And then,
absolutely.
And then just loading up City, the guy, because and that's in that game script. Let's think that Abba scores in the 15th minute on a counter, okay, and he finishes with 14 DK because it's one shot on goal,
right?
A foul drawn, and one other shot randomly. But Leno is just standing on his head. I remember I won a GPP. It's been a while, but 2 years ago, with David De Gea. But it was David De Gea versus Arsenal. And I think he had 17 saves.
Exactly. No, that's the other. And we know people. I mean, people have been playing goalie at insane rates. It's not going to happen with Leno tomorrow. It might happen with Ederson. He might be insanely. Can I tell you what the
ownership has been? Because I've been watching this. Because we have a number of you top GPP players. Here's my son. Hey, buddy, you got to go back to mama. Let me lock it real quick.
Gator Jr., get him in there. I'll get the pup
in here. His first DFS lineup is going in tomorrow. It might be a burner account. It might be Gator Baby.
Yeah.
31.
Let's do 300, man. My wife will put half.
Anyhow, no. What I was saying though, can't really remember what I'm saying, but like you.
Oh, you were talking about your one with De Gea.
Yeah. So, but anyhow, you're looking for an onslaught type of lineup where you're just seeing a ton of crosses coming in. So, like in that lineup, you could. I joked with Leno as captain, but KDB at captain with no goals could still put up like 35, 40 DK with the 1.5 multiplier.
Easy.
You're talking about like a Mendy as another crosser. The only other guy that really is a heavy crosser. You're talking about Sterling with shots, Aguero with shots. So you could very easily actually maybe even spike the GPP with a 5-1 City stack with Leno on the other side, 1-0. You miss the Abba goal, but you make up for it with peripherals from City. Like I think that's like well within the outcome of possibilities.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's you see those types of lineups from some of the best players, and sometimes I'm not on them. Sometimes I'm more focused on, in a 1-0 game, I need the goal and assist and the clean sheet, and that's a flaw in my game. But I totally agree with you.
Well, and I do remember what I was going to say now. It wasn't that. It was the goalie ownership on favorites is getting out of control.
Absolutely.
So Ederson might get overowned tomorrow. But
he definitely will be overowned. I predict he will absolutely be overowned.
And Ederson, I joked in Discord today, Ederson is my nickname for the goalie that gets 3 DK because he gets to win. They win 6-1.
Yeah, exactly.
No saves.
He concedes at some point.
Concedes to a Mustafi header or a David Luiz header. No saves.
I might commit suicide if that happens.
No saves. And he gets 3 DK, and you're like, the conversation we were having was just like the flock to safety because like I thought Neuer's ownership in Classic today was just out of control. I think it was like 45% in Classic, which like albeit he got there, but I don't know. I don't know if any goalie should ever be 45% owned.
I don't think so, but you remember when Showdown captain started, people didn't play goalie much at all, and that was some of my leverage, and I still play goalie too much. I still play for the shutouts too much.
Well, let's talk about that, and then we'll get back onto like where people probably should be doing their ownership. But so the reality of goalie and why it is popular is because it's the widest range of outcomes. So a goalie that gets 4 saves, clean sheet, and a win that's 18 DK, that's a goal and assist. Right. I guess technically shot assisted, that's 19 DK, but it's hard to get 18 DK. And goalies are always a little bit underpriced for the guys that you would get that. You have to pay a premium for striker or for not only for a striker, but for a set piece taker. Like DK sees that somebody took a corner and they're immediately going to be expensive.
Ederson's 6,800 tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Leno's 4,200.
But on that, like I haven't actually really built that much. I purposely did that because I didn't want to overbuild and be skewed for analysis tonight. But I think Mendy was cheaper than both of those, and I think I have him above.
Mendy's 62.
Yeah, and there's no way in hell I'm ever playing Ederson over Mendy.
Right. Well, yeah.
Well, you are. But that's 100%.
In cash.
I'm talking about an optimal lineup. Mendy's a DFS dream.
And Mendy, there's no way they're starting Cancelo tomorrow, are they?
Well, no, and he's gonna want somebody on the left, and before the break, Mendy. So let's look at this. So I just want to point this out. I don't agree with this lineup. It just happens to be one of the only pictures that I could get up of a full pitch. I think over here that I think Mahrez is right. I do think he's going to go Mahrez because I don't think he's that worried about Arsenal, possessing. Sterling will be on the left. I think if Aguero is fit, I haven't seen anything that he isn't. I would expect him in the middle.
I agree.
Then I think that Ilkay will give way to KDB. Rodri in the middle, Silva on the left, Mendy left back, Walker.
See, I think Ilkay might be in there with KDB. But...
Now, Bill, do you have an update on the Walker escort / STD situation?
Shit, you know what? I forgot. We said we were going to talk about this, and I said I was going to read some articles. And I never did. I just know the highlights. But give us a brief synopsis.
All we know is that Walker had to make a public apology because during England's lockdown, he had a few escorts over for a good time.
I mean,
enough said.
Is that the worst thing? Let he who hasn't done that cast the first stone, right? I've never done that, but I'm not a professional soccer player.
I just love during the COVID lockdown. He made the news for getting the escorts over. But anyhow,
I hate Kyle Walker,
I'm
but
not
I
a fan.
also, you know,
Cancelo is
he
so much better for
and
DFS.
Zinchenko are the same price tomorrow. You don't think we see Zinchenko, do we?
No. So before the really interesting. Here's the only tactics I'll give.
That's another guy I really like, by the way.
So here's the only tactics I'll give. So even though you see 4-3-3 from City, Pep, if you have not watched, All or Nothing, Pep is
I haven't.
very, very. You need to do that, my friend. Mandatory soccer viewing. But Pep is all about in possession and out of possession formations. So Raheem Sterling is not a true wide player. He's going to act a lot more as a second striker in possession. Everything Sterling is cutting inward. Mahrez will keep width on the right, but Benjamin Mendy in possession is a wingback. So he is going to be bombing up. If you look at heat maps, if City has possession, he's going to be right up, I guess technically over here. He's going to be over here a ton, ready to throw in crosses. Kyle Walker, you will notice, will not hit the byline very often. He's going to be playing as kind of a third midfielder. So in possession, you get Kyle Walker, Fernandinho, and Laporte kind of stacked over here. And sometimes Rodri and Walker interchanging. So that's just like a tactical thing. But Mendy is very, very much, even though you won't see him as a true like wing back, he's going to be playing as a wing back. So
I agree with all that. Yeah, we've talked about that before, and you were the person that explained that to me, and thank you.
Yeah, but so just understand when you see 4-3-3, just understand that this is really like a 3-5-2 in possession, with Mahrez and Mendy acting as kind of wing backs. So just know that from an optimal build, I think that there's no way that you don't play Mendy.
And probably Mahrez too, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to split. So KDB was taking a little bit over him, but Mahrez, if it's close and KDB doesn't want to run over, will take those left-sided corners. With I feel like the Pep likes the end swingers. So you'll get some from Mahrez. Just understand, like, especially with 5 subs. I think this is worth noting too. 5 subs. Like, I get the question all the time: who's the sub risk? I'm like, everyone. Half the team is going to sub. And for somebody like Pep, he's like, guys. You didn't watch All or Nothing, so you don't fully get the joke. But guys, you got to go.
I've played for coaches like that, though.
That's Pep's favorite. But I do think that there'll be a lot of substituting, and Pep loves the finagle stuff. So, hell, you could see, like, freaking Fernandinho or Laporte being on their own as, like, the only true defenders, with Rodri playing, like, as a center back, and there only being, like, 2 defenders by the end of the game. Like, Pep is the type that would do that. But anyhow, let's talk. It's taking a while to get here. Let's talk about like the chalk construction. So, which is going to be 5-1 City stacks. Well, I'll let you go from there. I tend to talk too much.
No. I mean, you're more geared to talking about the chalk construction, I think, as a cash player. But yeah, it's certainly. I mean, do we have any reason to think KDB is not playing tomorrow?
This random sports gambler maybe, but I mean, I think I just read the RotoWire notes that he participated full in training.
I mean, but you would probably let me guess as to get in your mind. I think you would have KDB, Mendy, Mahrez. Yep. Where do you go from there?
Again, I haven't built for purpose to not give away lineups, but I would be looking at Sterling or Aguero right away.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just a capture method. Like we said, especially in a cash construction, like none of these Arsenal players have any sort of floor tomorrow. Like they're not going to be getting corners. They're not going to be getting tackle. I mean, they're going to be getting tackles potentially, but like just know Granit Xhaka is coming into the game with -1.5. I'm sorry, maybe -2.
Yeah, I mean they're going to get cards. They're gonna concede fouls.
Yeah. He's coming, but Xhaka is coming in with -2.
I agree with you completely, man.
He's
as much as I watched that Arsenal like Instagram thing yesterday, and it made me like Bellerin and those guys. Like they're still.
Bellerin's too worried about what fashion show he's going to be participating.
Yeah, exactly.
But
you know what though, he's not a bad player. He's just not.
He's not a good DFS player, and that's something to understand.
Exactly.
Like, when we're getting new blood into our soccer chats, that not every fullback is created equally. Like I feel like I have to say that, especially in La Liga, because everybody just get used to Germany and EPL where these fullbacks cross a lot, and in La Liga they don't. And so everybody's like, why does Jordi Alba only have one cross? Because everything's low and DK doesn't record it, or I should say Alba doesn't reward it. And that's the same way that Arsenal plays, because that is Arteta's style. Is not really he's more of a Spanish style.
Yeah,
so
I mean, everyone's so cheap on that side. Like they're going to be your last person in, probably.
Spot on, exactly what you said. They're their last one in. So this is where I want to get in your mind. So like, I'm not going to go much into this. An optimal build, like you're starting KDB, probably captain if you can get there. Your second one is probably Mendy. Then you're going to go Mahrez or Sterling.
Mahrez for me.
Aguero's, even though he's a striker, because of his shot floor, is going to be insanely popular. And if it's not Aguero, it'll be Jesus. And then it's spilling in. So that's your optimal build. And why, some of us, like, they play a lot of cash. We don't love city slates for cash because it's the same construction every time. And, so often it's like, did Mustafi or did Luiz do better? And that's deciding the cash line. So it's not awesome for that. I'll still be in a lot of cash because I think there'll be some casuals.
But it all depends on lineups, man. Though, really, it all depends on lineups,
Yeah, but I think coming out of break, we should see some. We can probably expect. So again, like I'll reshare, but again, the biggest issue I have on the City lineup is that I think Ilkay gives way to KDB, and then I think Jesus gives away to Aguero. I think the rest of this is fine. Pep loves Kyle Walker, so
yeah, it's either Silva or Ilkay that's out, right?
Yeah, but if Silva's fit, Silva's getting. This is his last season with the club, so he's going to get a long run at the end.
Hey, I love the guy, and he's 8,000. He's. I mean, we don't think Bernardo is. Well, Bernardo could start, right?
Should. I mean, Bernardo should. I think it's just kind of like why David Silva's giving away, because they don't have room for Bernardo or Mahrez, and Bernardo would actually rather play in the midfield three, where he kind of, and again in possession, he's kind of like a 10.
He was like arguably one of the best. He was like league MVP last year. Like he was
awesome.
insane.
I think he was 4th in Premier League's Player of the Year, yet he can barely get a start. So Bernardo's an awesome player.
Stupid talent.
That could be a hell. So we're getting long-winded, so I'm going to reel us in. I want to talk about two things, and then we'll jump and we'll get out of here. So I want to talk about you already mentioned you're building 150. So, and I already told you that the optimal build is going to be 5-1. How are you balancing that tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I probably built like 10 as of now, just because I wanted to get a feel for it. And we talked last time, man. I tried to build 150 in an hour, and I got to 100, and there were 10 minutes left. And I was like, fuck it, I'm putting 50 back in.
Like your best 50 in.
Yeah, and duplicated, and by the grace of God, they happened to be
yeah, $27,000 later. Yeah, Demir
my friend here in the captain spot. And I got like 4 in the top 6 or whatever, but that was a lot of luck. So I'm going to try to be smarter about it tomorrow and a little more strategic, and, just build like half before. But yeah, they're most of them are 5-1 or 4-2 City,
But do you think then that the way to be contrarian with 5-1 is more about the captain slot?
I do. I absolutely do. Yeah.
So talk to us about that. I had a feeling that was going to be the answer.
Well, I mean, it's, who knows what happens tomorrow. Gundogan starts and he scores a brace somehow, right? Like, and he's the guy you need in captain. I know it's gross, but it could happen. What was the one that Osimo won with? He won.
Why do you bring this up? Emre Can is the captain. I've already cursed it out. The good news is Osimo is not watching this.
No, he's not. But and one of the things I wanted to say during this is I respect him, man. Of course, he's the best. Absolutely. Yeah, but I hope that whoever wins the 50 tomorrow is like a soccer pro, or like just a random, someone who knows soccer, someone who's in the FSI chat and the other chat I'm in, guys that play all the time. When you see the pros win, it's it's inevitable, but it's less than ideal.
It doesn't feel as good. So talk to me though about the captain slot. So like, how do you? So like the chalk. There's going to be 2 chalk captains. Kevin De Bruyne will be the top owned captain because he's the highest floor. And let's be real. So one thing I mentioned to you, let's not forget before break, because of City's PK was, De Bruyne now has PKs, which we don't want to overweight PKs except for slates that David Luiz is on.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, who's going to start at center back tomorrow? Like for Arsenal,
Luiz is one of the first guys in. Now I've seen.
No, I know, but who's going to be the other center back? I mean, I guess.
Who's the other guy on there? I'm already forgetting his name. He's the guy they just signed in January. Pablo Mari.
Yeah, Mari. He's minimum price. He's 3,000. Wrong hole.
You're not expecting anything, but so the top owned KDB number 1, and then Aguero if he's starting number 2, and I do think that if Aguero doesn't start, I think Jesus has a chance to be the number 2 son. If
Aguero and Sterling are together, they'll be probably close in ownership.
That's what I was going to say. Sterling be the 3rd. So like, how do you, as a 150 person max center type of GPP player, how do you leverage off of that? Because we've already gone over that 5-1. If you're making 150 lineups, there's a good chance that 100 of them are 5-1s.
Yeah, a decent chance. I've never broken it down like that, but I agree with you. And it honestly just depends on who starts for City. But I want to have every guy that's a part of that attack, whoever it is. If it's down from David Silva to Bernardo to Sane is not going to start, but he's fit, right? Like he could.
We're going to go that in a second. We're going to go.
Yeah, we're going to talk about subs in a second. Okay, but I think you want to try to rotate.
So let's be real and what I think people don't understand, like why you brought up the Asimo Emre Can. Like as much as I want to say, that probably is one of 2 captain slots he has for Emre Can. Like it's not like.
Sure.
It's not like he was coming into the slate being like, who's going to score a goal? Emre Can.
Yeah, it's just it's an ownership. It's an ownership play, man. We talk about them all the time. Like if you somehow this game is 1-0 tomorrow, right? Yep. It's unlikely, but
let's be real. So here's the outcome I actually want to be real on, and I don't even know if you've touched on it yet, but you could very easily see I can actually picture it like an Aymeric Laporte header goal being the only.
Yeah. Do you think he's starting for sure?
Yeah.
He's fit, right? He's back.
He was back before break. He just wasn't fit for 90.
Okay. So he can score a goal. John Stones isn't going to start, but John Stones could be that guy. No, I know, but any of the 11 dudes, Ederson can take a PK, right?
That's been my Discord pipe dream, is that Ederson just ends DFS soccer by taking a PK and getting a clean sheet all on the same slate.
Yeah,
that's my DFS pipe dream.
But hey, realistically, City beat him 3-0 last time, right? In the reverse fixture, I think KDB had 2. That's probably the game we're gonna see. But
that's why I wanted to spend so much time on the 5-1, because I think people need to understand, even if you go Arsenal wins 1-0, you are not winning a GPV with a 5-1 Arsenal stack.
It could happen, but it would.
No, Bill. No. The only route that a 5-1 Arsenal stack wins if Arsenal wins the game 5-0.
I'm not saying it could be 4-0.
Yes, we have it on recording now. No,
it could be 3-0.
No, they will not have the ball enough. They will not have the ball enough.
Hey, I agree with you just conceptually and generally, but what we know about soccer is that
I'm trying to save you $300 of entries, my friend. But here's the reality. Arsenal. You're right. Arsenal is a -300 favorite. We literally go into the slate and go, oh my God, I have to play 5 Arsenal players. I don't want to play this guy. I don't want to play Bellerin at 6,000. He sucks. Not sucks for real life.
Hey, but would you say the same thing that United City game where they lost 2-0 kind of before the break? You probably would have said the same thing, right?
Yeah, but the winning GPP probably had 4-2.
I don't remember it. But
Probably did because
probably did.
United's 2 goals were on the counter.
I'm just saying, don't be afraid to get. It's a $50,000 first prize. Don't be afraid to get really weird tomorrow.
I agree there, but I'm just.
If you're gonna play my way.
If you're playing your way, if you're entering 150, agree. But if you have 3 bullets, I would much rather you go. I'm going to change up my captains. I'm going to do Aguero in one. I'm going to do Sterling in the other. I'm going to do KDB in the other. And I'm going to differentiate by taking Aymeric Laporte to score a goal.
Yeah.
Rodri, who was in a really good form before the break. That type of guy. Like
honestly, I think that's the type of guy that's in a winning GPP lineup tomorrow. It's like the odd Rodri goal, you know?
Well, he's huge too, so he's a set piece target.
Dude, he's a fucking monster. He's way bigger than a dude named Rodri should be.
Yeah, when you think of a Spanish center midfielder, he's like 5'11", and then you look at Rodri and you're like, he's
like 6 whatever, man. He's a monster. If
anybody watches the PGA one that I just did with TK, I talked about Bryson DeChambeau and I called him Bryson Urlacher.
What happened to him over the break? I didn't even watch it in the tournament, but he just got
himself in the gym. He bought a gym and locked himself in it or something. But
good for him, man.
But I mean, our joke is that Rodri's a huge guy, so playing that type of play, he won't be super owned. That could be good differentiation.
No, he'll be. That's the last thing I'd probably want to cover is just like ownership, right?
Yeah, please. Let's do ownership subs. We'll do a little bit of classic, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay. So
ownership, go for it.
I don't know the best way to approach it, but my prediction is that if the winning GPP lineup is not chopped a million times tomorrow, it's going to have a guy that's like, 15 to 10% owned that's somehow had an assist or goal, and it's probably going to be a City guy, right? And it's probably going to be a guy like Rodri. Like, what do you think his ownership would be tomorrow?
Can I tell you who the lowest owned City guy will be?
Tell me.
Fernandinho.
Yeah, Fernandinho, who's not a center back, but he'll be playing center back, right?
Thanks. But think about the game that they won versus Everton last year. That broke my heart as a Liverpool fan, but Company with a 35-yard bomb.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, that's the City guy that's not owned.
Fernandinho's 3,600. Stones is not going to play. He's 3,400. If Otamendi plays, he's 3,200.
No, it'll be Fernandinho. Pep trusts
him. Yeah, I think so too. Laporte's the next highest after Fernandinho.
But he's the reason that Fernandinho is lowest owned because Laporte actually has game logs and a name to support.
Oh, dude, Laporte's a really good player. I mean, he just had a bad luck and got hurt, right?
And I mean, if you look at his game logs, he has 6, 8, 9 DK as like a floor sometimes. So people will gravitate to him over Fernandinho. That's just my prediction here on ownership.
Well, for 4,000, he'll definitely be more owned than Fernandinho. Yep. So I don't know,
but that's the goal. That's the guy that you're talking about. Or your GPP winning lineup is the chalk City goal, but Pablo Mari with the Arsenal goal and it ends 1-1.
Yeah, it could happen.
1-1.
I mean, there's
100% an outcome.
The other thing I will say, and I know we don't want Arsenal players for tomorrow, but they're cheap, man. I mean, like the guys you could get in, like Joe Willock's not gonna start, right? But he's 3,600.
He won't play.
Ainsley Maitland-Niles is 3,800. I don't know who's gonna play. I don't know who's gonna start. Kalashnik's 3,800.
I think I'm just gonna pull up one more time just because we're briefly mentioning Arsenal. So I think I like where you're going with this. Like from a GPP perspective, if the game ends 1-1 or the game's in 2-1, the Arsenal goal is so important.
Exactly.
And that's where you're going with that.
No, it is. And again, it's a very low leverage negative EV move, but
you have to play one. You have to play one.
You got to play one.
It's going to become, did you get it right? So when you're thinking about outcomes like that. So, I mean, I brought this up because I do think that this Arsenal lineup is right. But like a Granit Xhaka that's not afraid to fire one from 30 yards. That's the type of guy. It'll be cool. Granit Xhaka is in the winning GPP lineup and scores.
No, it'll suck.
Hold on. And he finishes with 9.75 DK with a goal.
Yeah, exactly. He should have been sent off. But Tierney, is he gonna? He's probably not gonna start, but he's.
I don't think he's fit. And Saka's been good. Saka's been good.
No, I know, but like, just those are the type of guys that could be the one Arsenal player.
So,
you know what I mean?
So let's talk about the other elephant in the room. So if you're really talking about ownership, the guys that won't be owner subs. So let's talk about that real quick. Go for it, buddy.
Hey, man. I haven't had any success with it, so I'm not sure I'm qualified to talk on it. I kind of rejected it as a
strategy.
Yeah, as just like, I'm not gonna. You drilled into me that don't play subs, and in general terms, that's great advice. But when there's 5, and when guys are coming back their first game, subs are going to be part of it, and they've been part of winning GVP lineups.
Well, and that's
fucking Ilsanker for goddamn.
Well, then the next slate on Classic, Andre Silva was in the GVP
same team, both Frankfurt games, right?
Frankfurt, motherfuckers.
We're drunk at this point, but. No, but like you and Martin from the beginning are like, you're an idiot if you would ever deign to play a sub.
So here's the thing on it, and I want you to maybe talk about like how many you would willing to do. With soccer the way it was pre-COVID, NBA not being around, when you're talking about 900 entries, the expected value of wasting 4 of your entries on a sub.
Well, you said 900.
Well, yeah, but that was our old life. We got really excited when there was like 900 person GP.
Oh, total. Yeah.
That was our old life.
Yeah.
And you only get 30 attempts, so spending 3 of them, so 10% of your equity on a substitute that's not even guaranteed to play, that's tossing away money. It's a different story when you're talking about $100,000 to first. It's $100,000
right.
First, right? Tomorrow?
50.
I jumped the gun.
Maybe nice.
Maybe the Merseyside derby, maybe. But you're talking about 50,000 at first. You're talking about 15,000 entries, I think is what it was. Now, and you're talking about being.
Do you think it's gonna fill? By the way.
No. Make sure everybody make sure you monitor your DK chat when your rep reaches out to you and offers you a ticket, or who's your favorite EPL club? Respond and you get a free ticket. That's what's gonna happen. But right? There's no wrong answer. You get a ticket if you just acknowledge their existence. But I think it's a completely different story when you're talking about 15,000 entries and you're talking about a lot of dead entries from the beginning with people that don't understand construction. I do think substitutes are viable.
Of course.
Understand the risk and that it is a minus EV move. Yeah,
I mean, if I was playing 10 lineups, I wouldn't do it, but 150. The first thing is you look on the bench and you make sure they're in the team, right? But who could it be tomorrow? It could be guys like Jesus. It could be Sane. Is Sane gonna play? I don't know.
I mean, I think immediately. Here's the 2 things I'll say, and then I just want to get off of it. I don't want to spend too much time on it.
You're sick of this already, Gator.
No, I'm not fully sick of it. I don't want people to get too hung up on it because
absolutely
of
not
results.
Because you see that in the chat, people are like, "I gotta play a sub,"
and that annoys me. But I think the backup striker for City, because they come in with fresh legs versus a tired Arsenal defense. I think that immediately makes sense. And then I think you look at the backup winger, or if Bernardo doesn't make the team, that's the type of guy that could break the slate.
Absolutely,
Just a goal and assist, bang bang. You don't even know what happens. He has 19 DK. And
look, it's like Barcelona today, right? You knew Suarez was going to play.
Did he even play? I didn't watch.
He played. He came on early. He came on for Fati early in the second half. He was 6% on.
But I
threw one lineup with him and captain, and one with Messi captain and him, just to on the off chance that it was a 23 max.
Not enough equity. Not enough equity.
No, I agree with you, but tomorrow,
plenty of equity to do it.
If it's 0-0 at halftime, you feel good about that, right?
But I think, and let's wrap it on this. I think where you've tried to get, and you haven't fully said the words, I've been waiting for it. But I love that you started ownership. When we're talking about ownership, and with this big of a GPP, ownership is king, and making a contrarian lineup is king.
Absolutely.
No sub is pushing over 5%. I mean, I think you're going to actually see, like, if Aguero starts, I actually think you might see Jesus like 2% owned, which is probably 2% too many. But
if Aguero doesn't start, he might be higher than that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because of holders.
Yeah. But still, you're right.
Yep.
Suarez was 6 today.
Yeah, I think. Well, and Suarez's price was prohibitive of your overall lineup.
Well, yeah, it had to be the only goal of the game.
Yeah, which Messi exists, so he was going to score.
Only on a PK though.
Hey man, where he always gets there. He always gets there.
Always gets there. I've never faded Messi once in my life, and I never will.
I heard one time, Luis Pacheco, if you're somehow still listening, this is for you. He said on a pod one time, he said, when I started playing DFS soccer, I made 2 rules. I'll never fade Ronaldo, and I'll never fade Messi. I heard that, and I'm like, damn right.
Hey, he's one of the GOATs, man. So yeah. I would not go against him.
One of the true OGs. But
yep, absolutely.
I think we've covered the slate pretty well. People will tell us if they don't love how we covered it, but we spent enough time on it. I do just want to briefly just touch on Classic for those that somehow are still around. You are a Blades truther. Why don't you just give me your idea of the game tomorrow versus Aston Villa?
To be honest, Keith, I haven't given it much consideration. But
you've been spending too much time on Bukayo Saka.
Yeah. Bukayo Saka is my dog, man. But first game of the slate or first game back. I mean, Sheffield's obviously been pretty solid this year. It's funny, Villa's one of the teams that I actually really like a lot of their players.
Love for DFS.
Great. I love Grealish. I loved
Target.
Target's great. Who's the dude before he got hurt? Who's like a midfielder?
Horahan?
Yeah, it's Horahan. I've been meaning to correct you on that for months now. But anyway. But there's one other dude. I can't remember him. But anyway.
El Ghazi.
No, there is. But there's another UK guy. There's another English.
Here's your formation. Don't think too hard.
It's John McGinn. That's who I'm thinking of.
Okay.
I like McGinn because you sent me that one video of him scoring like a great goal in the championship or something.
Oh, the worldie, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But
anyway, I don't know. Dude, what do you expect from a game where teams have been off for that long? Like, I don't know what to expect. I have no idea.
It's sloppy. I mean, we saw that in the Bundesliga the first game back, but I think I saw someone share on Twitter, the good news is this will be the first game, so we'll know. But, if you don't see John Fleck, which was a rumor that I saw circulating before we got on recording, if you don't see Bill on the field.
That's my boy.
You might see, is it
Luke Freeman?
I almost said Lundstrom. I'm like, I know it's not Lundstrom. You might see Luke Freeman, who'd split half the stuff with Norwood. Probably would elevate Norwood right away, who's another guy that just, infuriates me that always gets there. He's like the guy that I've always rostered my whole life. Then I stopped rostering a couple months ago, and he just started doing well. But I
mean, they're not the most friendly DFS team, really.
I mean, Sheffield likes to cross.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in their wing backs, they have Baldock and I'm gonna forget the other guy,
Edna Stevens.
Edna Stevens, Irishman. Yeah, exactly.
You're a great fan.
I'm a huge fan. Hey, man, I bought this jersey this year because I was like, I need a team, and I never committed.
I love it.
I should have committed to Arsenal back in the day, but I'm glad I didn't.
I'll just say this, and I'll wrap this up on this for Classic. If you want the ultimate, I don't think the price pools are huge enough to do this too much, but if you want the ultimate GPP pivot, find a way to get Jack Grealish in your lineups. He will not be owned nearly as much as he should be for his talent because of everybody loading up City. So if you want
Jack's a stud, man. Jack's a
stud. He probably will come in 20 to 30% owned, which, on a normal site is 50. People overvalue City's floors. I know we spent probably 40 minutes talking about City and 4-1, 5-1 stacks, but that's because it's the only game on the slate. You have to fit it. When you have Classic, if you want some leverage, Jack Grealish, I think is an awesome way to go.
I'll say one more thing on Classic. Billy Sharp scores goals, motherfucker.
I've cored him one time in my life. I think he finished at 1.7 DK, and I had to say never again.
Billy Sharp scores goals.
I like
That's
that.
all I'm saying.
Well, on that note, I hope you enjoy the Blades' return to glory. I am certainly looking forward to the Merseyside Derby this weekend. Bill, it's
I forgot about that, man.
It could be a good prize pool, but
is our boy the Everton fan? Is he gonna be able to enjoy it? We don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I'm gonna say sad on that one, but I do know for certain that EPL is back, soccer is back, and if you want a great place to get content, a fun chat, just some really awesome players, much better than myself, please join FSI.
Absolutely.
Promise you will not be disappointed. Really do hope that you're enjoying this content. Please, if you somehow are still around, like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and just continue to enjoy the soccer. Do you have anything to end on, my friend?
It's gonna be a fun summer, man. I mean, it's your boys are gonna take the title, and congratulations on that, because it's been 30 years coming, right?
No asterisks, please. No.
We can talk about that another day. I won't give you an asterisk, but
right,
I would love for the Blades to have some European soccer next year.
They could. But here's to your sanity tomorrow, making 150 lineups. I'm rooting for you. I'd love nothing more to see than your college soccer coach on top.
Thanks, brother.
All right, buddy.
Hey, it was fun, Keith.
Absolutely.